Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tips. My name is Julian and this is the waiver wire video for week 10 of the fantasy hockey season. Can you believe it? Already week 10. Before we get started, guys, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow me on Twitter at Fantasy Tip. I'm always posting stuff to help you guys win each and every week, so be sure to follow me on Twitter. Now, as of this recording, it looks like I'm going to be handed my first loss of the season in my main league. I'm curious to see, how are you guys doing in your leagues? What are your records right now? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if I've helped you at all so far this season. Now, let's jump right into the content and let's take a look at the schedule for this coming week. So as you can see here on the screen, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are really not busy nights. On Monday, there is literally only one game, and that game is Chicago versus Calgary. On Wednesday, there are literally only 3 games, and Chicago, once again, is one of those teams. On Friday, there are 6 games, which is still not that much, and only 12 teams playing. So really, to win this week, what you're going to want to do is try to maximize the amount of games you play on those off nights, because guess what, guys? Your Tuesday, your Thursday, your Saturday, your Sunday days, they're probably pretty full, and you probably have some overflow as well. So if you have some guys that are droppable and aren't going to be playing at all in your lineup the entire week, well, go ahead and drop them and swap them out for guys who play on those Monday, Wednesday, and Friday games. Let's take a look at what teams you can consider grabbing guys from. Now, as I already mentioned, the Chicago Blackhawks play on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, making them the most valuable team to own players from this week. Then there's Anaheim, Arizona, the New York Rangers, and Washington that all play on both Wednesday and Friday, making them pretty valuable as well. So a lot of my waiver wire video is going to be players from these specific teams just because they will help you the most win your leagues this week. Players from almost any other team, if you grab them, you probably won't be able to fit them in your lineup this week. Obviously, if you're someone who's really amazing on the waiver wire and you obviously need to pick this guy up, still do that. But if you want to win your week this week specifically, these are the teams that you should be targeting. So let's jump into some forward options, and the number one guy on my list is Anthony Duclair of the Florida Panthers, 54% owned, and he's finally coming back from an injury. But guys, before his injury, he was over 70% owned. A lot of people dropped him just due to that injury, but he's back now and he's playing once again with Alexander Barkov. That's an amazing place to be. And Duclair is definitely someone that I'm adding if he's available in your league. He's a must-add for me. Then Michael Bunting is someone who's been playing absolutely fantastic alongside Austin Matthews on that top line. He's also pretty much a must-add right now with the way he has been playing. Then I got a couple of Anaheim Ducks, Ricard Raquel and Sonny Milano. These guys are pretty good ads for this week because, like I told you guys, they play both Wednesday and Friday for those off nights, and these guys are on a really hot line right now, and they should definitely be able to put up some points on those 2 off nights. Then I have Valeri Nichushkin of the Colorado Avalanche. He's been also very, very, very good this season so far. He's been basically a point per game since coming back from his injury. He's playing on that second line. Hopefully Kadri doesn't stay out too long, so Kadri still stays on that second line, and he's been very, very hot lately. Nichushkin is someone that I really like to add right now. Next is my first Chicago Blackhawk on the list, and like I said, guys, Chicago is a really valuable team to pick up this week just because of those off nights, right? They're one of the only 2 teams that play on Monday, and then they have those Wednesday and Friday off nights as well. Kubalik is someone who fits the bill. He's not on the best line in the world, but his line actually got better now that he's with Doc and Kurashev. He sees power play 2 time as well, but he's someone who knows how to score goals. So despite his coldness, he's someone that I would definitely consider adding for this week. Next, I have Evan Rodriguez of the Pittsburgh Penguins, only 33% owned, and I don't understand how this guy is only 33% owned. He's been on fire on that top line in Pittsburgh, and I understand that Gensel is now injured, but Rodriguez is still seeing power play 1 time, and he's still going to be on the top line with Sidney Crosby, so that's definitely not a bad place to be, and he has been producing, so Rodriguez for me is a must-add. Then I have Jonathan Toews of the Chicago Blackhawks, and I understand he hasn't been that great this year, but he's finally scored his first goal of the season, and this week is very favorable for Blackhawks players. So even if you're going to grab Toews just for this week, just for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, then drop him, that's fine. He is valuable just for those 3 games at the very least. Next is Clayton Keller of the Arizona Coyotes, only 19% owned, but the dude has 11 points in his last 9 games. He's been very, very hot lately, and I like adding Clayton Keller, especially for those Wednesday and Friday off nights this week. One of the best ads you could do for those 2 off nights. Next is Kirby Dach of the Chicago Blackhawks, and he hasn't been that amazing this season, but like I said, Chicago has a really great off-night schedule. He plays a dominant Kubalik now, which is not the worst place to be, and he usually sees top power play time as well, so I don't mind adding Kirby Dach for this week. Next, I have Nino Niederreiter of the Carolina Hurricanes, and I don't love Nino Niederreiter as a player that much, but he is on the top line right now with Sebastian Aho, and if you're playing top line with Sebastian Aho, you have fantasy relevance, and with only 15% ownership, he's definitely someone that could be picked up in a lot of leagues. Then I have Kaapo Kakko of the New York Rangers, and he has not been that great lately, but he continues to play on that top line with Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider. Not a bad place to be. And with those off nights on Wednesday and Friday, I'll still take a chance on Kaapo Kakko for this week. Then I have Phil Kessel, who is Keller's line mate in Arizona. And Kessel has also been super hot in Arizona. He has 9 points in his last 11 games, which is pretty freaking good. Definitely makes for, honestly, a pretty decent pick for those off nights on Wednesday and on Friday. Then I have Logan O'Connor of the Colorado Avalanche, 10% owned. And right now, guys, he's playing on the top line with Landeskog and with Nathan MacKinnon. I don't know why they decided to move Rantanen down a line, but as of right now, Logan O'Connor is top line, which makes him an absolute must-add player. Whenever you're playing with Nathan MacKinnon, you're definitely going to put up points like Logan O'Connor. Then I have Lars Eller of the Washington Capitals, and he's centering that second line right now in Washington. Definitely not my favorite option at all, but he does have those off nights on Wednesday and Friday, making him not the worst option this week, at least to get some games in. Next, I have Brandon Hagel of the Chicago Blackhawks playing on that second line with Jonathan Toews, been having a pretty decent season and has been seeing a good amount of power play time this year as well, so I don't hate Brandon Hagel as an ad just for those Monday, Wednesday, and Friday off nights. Then I have Dryden Hunt of the New York Rangers, and he continues to play on that second line with Ryan Strome and Artemi Panarin. It's a pretty good place to be. Despite him not getting any power play time, it's definitely a spot that he could put up points. And with those Wednesday and Friday off nights, and if there's nobody else available, he's someone that has some potential to put up some points. Then I have Vinny Lettieri of the Anaheim Ducks, and he's actually looked pretty decent so far. He's playing on a line with Sam Steele and Troy Terry because Getzlav and Adam Henrique are both injured. Lettieri is probably the best guy who's low owned on that line to try and grab because Sam Steele hasn't been that great. But Lettieri, every single time that he's put in a place to succeed, he always seems to put up some points. So it's not my favorite option in the world, but Lettieri could definitely put up a point or two on those off nights for you. And next I have a guy who is a must add in really deep leagues right now, because not only does he play on those Monday, Wednesday, and Friday off nights, he's playing on the top line with Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat. How could you not succeed between those two guys? So far, he has 1 point in one game, so that's a pretty good start. Henrik Borgstrom is someone you absolutely have to be adding right now if you're in a deep league, because you will get those off-night games, and he's playing between two absolute studs right now. And last but not least, I have Travis Boyd of the Arizona Coyotes. Has not been as hot as his line mates Keller and Kessel, but he is centering that line, therefore has an opportunity to put up some points every single night. Not my favorite option, but at 0% owned, can't go wrong skating between two super hot players. Jumping in some defensemen now, Jared Spurgeon of the Minnesota Wild is my first one at 49% owned. He's finally back in the lineup. Unfortunately, he did not resume his spot on the top power play since Brodin is playing so well there. He is, however, skating on the second power play. So if you want to pick him up as a speculative ad and see how he does for the first few games, you can absolutely go and do so. Not my favorite option, playing only on that second power play, but I don't hate it either. Then I have Mark Giordano of the Seattle Kraken. 43% owned, was mass dropped when he got COVID, and he hasn't had the greatest season in the world, but he should go back onto that top power play in Seattle. Vince Dunn had it in his first game back, but it could just be them easing him back into the lineup, because to me, Giordano should have that power play because Vince Dunn has not really done that well with it. And then I have Shane Gostisbehere of the Arizona Coyotes. Top power play with super hot players like Keller and Kessel. Don't mind that deployment at all, and he has been producing basically all year round. Next is Rasmus Andersson of the Calgary Flames, 41% owned, and he's looked pretty decent this year. Not the best defenseman in the world, but not the worst either. He's been getting top power play deployment all year round, so there's definitely potential to put up points every single game. And Calgary plays on Monday, one of only two teams to play Monday, so definitely someone who's a good streamer, at least for Monday, Tuesday, or whatever you need him for. Rasmus Andersson is someone who I could also hold on my team the entire season too, because he does have the potential, because he is top power play on a really good team. Then I have Nate Schmidt of the Winnipeg Jets, 36% owned, had a really cold stretch. I did tell you guys to drop him. he seems to be turning around a little bit now. So Nate Schmidt is someone you could once again add to your team. He does get power play time, gets a good amount of power play time, so I don't mind re-adding him now. Then I have Jamie Drysdale of the Anaheim Ducks, and he's getting a lot of power play time right now, and he has been able to produce lately, and I like Drysdale as an ad as of right now. Then I got Jonas Brodin of the Minnesota Wild, 28% owned, and this could go even higher right now because even though Spurgeon is back, Brodin has stuck on that top power play with Kaprizov, with Zuccarello, with Ryan Hartman. It's a place that you absolutely want to be, and he has been able to produce with a bunch of power play points lately. Brodin is a must-add defenseman right now, and he could be a hold the entire year if he sticks on that top power play, which honestly he should because he's been playing really well on it. Then I have Adam Boquist of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and he's also been playing top power play, and a lot of people aren't realizing that he's quietly putting together some really good games. He's putting together a lot of points right now. He did just sustain an injury, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and see how serious it is. But if you have room on your IR plus, someone that you could be adding just for that, because he does have a good amount of potential if he sticks on that top power play. Next is Erik Johnson of the Colorado Avalanche, 17% owned, and not only has he been shooting, hitting, and blocking a nice amount, the dude's actually been putting up some points. Why is that happening? Well, Colorado right now is an unstoppable force. They've been scoring goals left and right, like absolute craziness. They're scoring so many goals right now. And Erik Johnson plays so much time on the ice that even if he doesn't see power play time, he's going to get assists, he's going to get points, and he's looked really, really good on the ice as well. Erik Johnson is someone I like to add right now. Next is Nicholas Hague of the Vegas Golden Knights, 10% owned, and while he doesn't see power play time, he gets to see top pairing minutes with Pietrangelo. That's a good place to be, and he has been able to put up some points every couple games. So honestly, guys, Nick Hague makes for a good ad in deep leagues. Next, I have Josh Manson of the Anaheim Ducks, and while he doesn't play power play in Anaheim, he's been putting up a lot of peripherals lately, and he's just coming off a 4-game point streak, so ride him while he's doing well. And last but not least, I have Cale Clegg of the Montreal Canadiens. I actually mentioned him earlier in the year on this list because he was getting top power play in LA for a little bit. On the top power play in LA, he performed pretty decently. Now he's on Montreal, and Montreal's also giving him top power play time. Now, through 2 games, he has not produced as of yet, but the opportunity is there. So if you're in a super deep league, this guy is probably the best defenseman available for you to grab. So jumping into some goalies quickly, and first and second on the list are Braden Holtby and Jake Ottinger of the Dallas Stars. Now, if I had to choose between the two of them, I would go with Holtby because Ottinger might by default be the odd man out once Ben Bishop joins the team in Dallas because they already have Khudobin just sitting doing absolutely nothing as a third goalie. So when Bishop joins the team, they're going to have 4 goalies, and the only guy that can be sent to the AHL without clearing waivers is Jake Ottinger. That being said, for now, Holtby and Ottinger seem to be split in the starts. So Ottinger is someone that I would grab for the immediate future, but not long-term. Holtby is more of a long-term grab. Next is Jonathan Quick of the Los Angeles Kings, and while the Kings haven't been as amazing as they were earlier in the season, Quick has been pretty good over his last couple games. He has a shutout and only 1 goal allowed. So Jonathan Quick right now seems to be running away with the starting job in LA. Obviously, Cal Peterson still will get some starts now and then, but Jonathan Quick is probably the number 1 guy if you need a starting goalie. Then I have Jake Allen of the Montreal Canadiens, and as long as Carey Price stays out, which is still a little bit while longer, Jake Allen is that number 1 guy in Montreal, and I know Montreal is not that great of a team this year. They're actually second to last in the league right now, which hurts my heart a little bit being a Habs fan, but Jake Allen is someone who's decently reliable as a starting goalie because he's going to get basically every single start. Then I have Alexander Georgiev of the New York Rangers, and as long as Shesterkin stays out of the lineup is as long as you should have Georgiev on your team. I'm not exactly sure when Shesterkin's going to come back, but until then, Georgiev is someone that you need. Then I have Dan Vlader of the Calgary Flames, 22% owned, and no, I don't think you should grab this guy and hold on to him long term. He doesn't really get enough starts to merit that, but Calgary plays both Monday and Tuesday, and Calgary is the only team in the league other than their opponent Chicago that plays on Monday. So if you can get yourself a goalie start on Monday in a points-based league, that's a pretty good thing right there. So Dan Vlader, he's either going to start Monday or Tuesday, so he definitely would make for a decent ad and then drop him after that. Then I have Pavel Francouz of the Colorado Avalanche, and with Kemper not being that great this year, Pavel Francouz coming back from injury now might have a real opportunity to seal a lot of starts. So I like adding Pavel Francouz as a speculative add and see how many starts he gets. Next I have Dustin Tokarski, and he's on the COVID list as of this recording, but he should be back relatively soon, and when he does get back, he'll resume that #1 job in Buffalo. Malcolm Subban's a terrible goalie, and he's injured right now as well, so I'm not too worried about that. The only competition he really has right now is Pekka Luukkonen, who does seem to be the starter while Tokarski is out, so he's definitely someone you could consider grabbing as well, as long as Tokarski is out. And then I got Scott Wedgwood of the Arizona Coyotes, and Vejmelka had a shutout recently. Then his next game did not look good at all, so it looks like Wedgwood is going to continue to be the starter, at least for the immediate future. So if you do need a starter, Wedgwood is the way to go. Then I have Anton Forsberg of the Ottawa Senators, and I did tell you guys last week that Gustafsson is probably going to be the starter going forward, but guess what? Forsberg has won 3 in a row, and Gustafsson hasn't looked that good. So as of right now, Anton Forsberg is the starter in Ottawa. So if you need a starting goalie, Forsberg's not the worst grab in the world. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.